This edition of Mac Voices is supported by MacPaw, the makers of Clean My Mac 3. Get rid of all those extra unnecessary files easily by visiting cleanmymac.com. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, I love to do stuff with my iPad. I love to do stuff with my iPad that is kind of unexpected, and that's one reason I've been enjoying Switcher Studio so much. I'm getting ready to do an event next week with our company, and I'm going to use Switcher Studio as the video source, be able to switch through 3 cameras, which will be 1 iPhone and 2 iPads. And I love it. And so I'm really excited that there's a new version of Switcher Studio out. And here to tell us about it is Mr. Nick Mattingly of Switcher Studio. Nick, welcome back. It's good to see you.
Yeah, happy to be here.
I appreciate the time because every time I catch you, I'm literally catching you. You're always running here or there, doing something else with Switcher Studio. So I wanted to make sure we got people on and let them know what the latest and greatest is from this terrific piece of software.
Yeah, we hit the conference circuit pretty hard early this year. We were at NAB and VidCon and a lot of other ones in between. I've been able to stay in one place for a little bit, so that's been good. Got another one coming up in October, Vid Summit in LA. So if you're in the area, check it out. I'll be on one of the panels. We're the official streaming sponsors. We teamed up with LiveView, so they'll be doing interviews behind the scenes. Gary Vee is one of the keynote speakers, so there'll be some cool stuff going on there.
Definitely, Gary Vee is always a dynamic speaker. If you haven't seen him, that's good enough reason to go right there. But the other great reason is obviously Switcher Studio, to get to see you and your team and talk about what Switcher can do for you. And now you've just added more capabilities.
Yeah, so we just had a new update. It was Switcher 3.4, and we went all out on this one. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of updates outside of just the app piece. So this is something that we've really been focused on for a long time. Switcher works on your iPhone and iPad, but we have desktop tools. We have cloud services. We're really support heavy, and we were looking at a way to kind of bolster all of those pieces together with this update. So app side, we added lower thirds and titling. We'll come back to that here at the end. I'll give you a demo if we want to set up the screen share. But inside of the app, you can do real-time graphics. If you can put someone's name in, their title, they animate in and out. We've got a couple of templates and presets baked right inside of the app. You can also do full screen images and text as well. So if you wanted to do a title card with your company name or the URL for your website, it's really easy to do those without having to know how to run something like Photoshop or building graphics ahead of time. You can do them on the fly in the app. With this update, we also released a beta version of Windows screen sharing. So we have supported Mac screen sharing for a while, where your computer screen can show up as a camera. So if you're doing a presentation, a keynote, you want to show a website, you can do a picture-in-picture and broadcast that for your audience. And that's been limited to the Mac platform, and we just rolled out the Windows version that we've been working on. Still have some kinks to work out, but we didn't want to keep it to ourselves anymore, so that's out there for people to take a look at and start using. And then with this update, if you log into your Switcher Studio account online at switcherstudio.com, a whole new look, a lot more features. We have a new dashboard where you can easily link your accounts. We even have a My Videos tab. So if you're streaming to YouTube and Facebook, you can get a full history of videos that you've made with Switcher from now moving forward, and get the share link right from your Switcher Studio dashboard. So you can hit a button, get the URL to put it on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want to get that out for people.
The first time you and I talked, I think we were really focused on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, using this as a broadcast tool. And as I said earlier, I'm going to be using it in a completely different fashion, not sharing it out to the web at all, but just as a video switcher. And I still remember the first time I opened Switcher Studio. I think I was intimidated by the idea that this is a video switcher. Ooh. And after about 10 minutes of playing with it, it's like, oh, this is easy. This makes perfect sense. It's not hard to learn and understand. And as a result, I feel very comfortable going into next week, being able to tap out what I want to tap out, knowing what I know now, that there's nothing to be intimidated about. And the addition of lower thirds is just phenomenal.
Awesome. Yeah, before we started working on Switcher Studio, there's 5 or 6 years of development under the hood on this thing, and we were using everything else that's out there, and it was cameras and capture cards and cables and $10,000 boxes, and we were working with media companies and groups that want to do online video. They got super fired up and pumped about making more video, about making better looking video, and then they're like, "Wait a minute, this is really expensive. We don't have a budget for that. We're gonna have to hire somebody to run this. It's so crazy. It's so complicated." And so we'd have these clients that wanted to do TV type productions online, but it was anywhere from 6 to 12 months from the time that they decided they wanted to do it to when they could actually do it, when they could move around their budgets and when they could make that next hire. So we tried to take all that away, get people to say yes sooner, and Switcher was our solution. No special hardware required, no cables. You can use your iPhone or iPad, which a lot of us have already, or you can get for not a lot, and start making better video.
Yeah, and when I first proposed this at the office, they were like, I'm not so sure. And so quick demonstration, showed them the quality of the video, and it's like, wow, that's more than adequate for what we want. So just once again, it's that whole empowering thing, is letting you do almost a TV studio on your iPad and iPhone and maybe a couple other iPhones or iPads. That it just blows me away. For the cost versus what you get is truly amazing. So Nick, earlier you said you were going to show us a little bit of the titling. So is that possible with what you have set up there?
Yeah, I've got a screen share going. Let me get it switched over. We'll be in good shape.
Okay, so this is Switcher Studio.
This is Switcher Studio. On the left side, you'll see sources. So this is the built-in camera. You can also add photos, pre-recorded videos, and you can do titling and text. Also overlays. So if you have your logo that you want to put on screen, this is the place where you can add those. And you'll notice in the top, there's a plus icon. There's also a big box here that has the plus as well, where we can get in and access those different assets. The bottom right, there's a series of tabs. This is where you can get to different settings. You can change effects, see audio, choose where you're going to broadcast and stream. And this window in the top right is what is being broadcast. It's what your viewers see. So just real quickly, we'll do a few cuts. Here's talking tech, camera, and here's where it gets fun. We've got some animated lower thirds and titles. We'll take that one off screen. You can also do animated names that you can bring in and out. So if we hit this plus button, you'll see there's a new section for dynamic templates, titles, and lower thirds. If we hit lower thirds, there's a couple different options here you can pick from. We'll go ahead and grab this guy. We can go in and we can change the text. As you can type, you can change colors. So you get the color wheel where you can adjust those properties. You can preview these assets. And then once you have it set up the way you want, we hit done and it shows up as an asset. So if I just tap, it's going to overlay on the video on screen. So lots of different options there you can play with. We'll do a full screen one real quick as well. Full screen text, your text here. And we'll say, hi, Chuck. And we can change the font. So we'll try a different one here. And let's change the color. Move that over. So now we've got a full screen graphic you could start your broadcast with or end, put the URL for your website, tell people where to go, and makes it much easier to have some more dynamic things happen in your video, even with just the one device. Here we're using the built-in camera, and just by adding photos, videos, titles, lower thirds, it starts to look like something. It starts to look like TV. One more I want to show you here we're really happy with. If you go to dynamic templates and titles, there is a frame template. This is a postcard. We'll just use the default text here real quick. But if I use this one, we get a nice little animation. So you can start your show, come in and out, and go back to your camera.
Very nice. Very nice.
So make sure that you have auto updates enabled. If not, go to the App Store. Make sure you have the latest version of Switcher Studio, and you'll be able to play around with those new settings and look forward to seeing what you do. Also, if you do create a video with Switcher and you're sharing it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, use hashtag #MadeWithSwitcher, and we'll keep an eye out for it and be sure to share it out.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hey, when we first started Switcher, there's a lot of video natives and gearheads and people that had come from that other world that were really excited they could do a lot of the things that they were expecting or wanted to do, and the fact that you could do it on an iPad was a little scary at first. There were some people that are like, "Are we going to lose our jobs?" and it's actually been the complete opposite. It's empowered these people that have been doing video for a long time to go out and do more and to be more efficient and scale that, and it's allowed them to help train other people that haven't done on their own, or marketing people that were used to doing just social posts that are taking on video and doing it in-house, but still need help around how to develop the content and what to talk about. And it's just had this tremendous ripple effect that, we're growing, we're invested in the product, but here there's people that are using our product to make great content and making money doing it. And then the communities that they're supporting and the people that are watching have come to expect it. And so it's just been a win-win all around.
MacPaw and their KineMaster 3 utility are the newest sponsors of MacVoices, and at just the right moment. High Sierra is here, and you're anxious to try it out, right? Before you do, this is the perfect time to do a little house cleaning and get rid of all those extraneous files that might be cluttering up your Mac. The kinds of files that you might not easily find, and the kind of files that you might be afraid to delete even if you did find them. KineMaster 3 is the answer. With just one click, you can clear out old caches, app leftovers, hidden files, and more. Get rid of old email attachments, turn off plugins and add-ons that you don't need any longer. These and more are taking up valuable space and valuable resources on your Mac. After running KineMaster 3, your machine will be lean and mean, ready to take advantage of everything High Sierra is bringing to your productivity table. I want you to visit KineMaster.com right now and download their free trial. Find out just how much stuff is on your Mac that doesn't need to be there. Or KineMaster 3 is available on the subscription service SetApp at SetApp.com, along with over 90 other high-profile apps. Either way, check it out and get a better, more efficient Mac with just one click. That's KineMaster 3 by MacPaw at KineMaster.com. Welcome and thanks to MacPaw and KineMaster as a sponsor of MacVoices. One of the things that I've really noticed about you is, and Switcher, is that you do not hesitate to strike partnerships with just about anybody. And I mean that in a very positive fashion. I really like the fact that, okay, if I decide to use Switcher Studio, I don't have to be locked into this box or that cable or this camera or something else. That it seems like if anybody's interested in making their stuff work with you, you will help them and create that synergy. And that too, I love, because it's a lot more in the spirit, the very idealistic spirit of the internet and hacking and all that. And you guys kind of personify that.
Yeah, I mean, with the live broadcasting piece, we're Switzerland. We don't care where you send it. We have the YouTube and Facebook easy button. We've done a really tight integration there. We were fortunate enough to be one of the launch partners for Facebook Live. But we also support RTMP, and you can send it to hundreds of platforms, and you can link up Periscope Producer or Livestream or Twitch, or you can really send your video just about anywhere. One of the things we also rolled out in this most recent update, I forgot to hit on, is our integration with KineMaster. So KineMaster is a mobile video editor or post-production editor similar to what you would expect from Premiere or Final Cut. And they started on the Android platform and they had this killer app, and they recently ported it to iOS. So we now have a function in Switcher, if you're using director mode, where you're recording on all of the cameras, you can take that entire project, push it in the KineMaster without ever leaving your mobile device, and start to edit your video after you're done. So if you cut a little too soon and you want to adjust it, you can just go to the timeline and move things around. So with this new update, really, really happy to have worked with KineMaster and their team at Next Streaming, and that's now available in Switcher 3.4.
But that's not the only way you could get that out.
Absolutely, yeah. You could. We have a media manager tool for Final Cut Pro. It's magic. If you shoot with Switcher, it opens a multicam event in Final Cut where everything shows up. All of your cameras are synced. All of your cuts are there. If you use photos, videos, they're already in your timeline, so you don't have to start from scratch when you go into post production. any edits that you made while you were live are already there, and you just have to make adjustments. It's a tremendous workflow, time savings. And then you can also drag and drop to your desktop and use in Premiere or iMovie or whatever. Take your video where you want. It's yours.
Right. And we've talked about this in previous interviews, the idea that you all took the iOS platform, because I think a lot of us are just starting to realize how powerful this platform can be for video production, and not just using the cameras and all that, but for actually doing some of the editing or all of the editing in iOS. I mean, now we have iPad Pros, which give us a lot more working room, but you can still do an awful lot on an iPhone.
Yeah, it's really incredible what they've been able to do over the past 10 years with iOS, and the devices just keep getting better and better. There's been a big emphasis at Apple on the camera. I think there's 800 people on their team that work on the camera technology alone, the hardware and software piece. One we get asked a lot is, does it work on Android? And we are a mobile creation platform. It is iOS only, unfortunately. We are looking at supporting Android as camera sources, but the mixing interface, that whole experience is going to continue to be iOS. Just Android as a platform is so fragmented. There's hundreds of devices, different cameras and processors. The manufacturers don't do a great job of making sure that the operating system is current or pushing those updates. So even if you and I had the same phone, we could be 3 or 4 versions different on one another from the operating system. And it makes it really difficult to develop and support and provide the same experience that we've been able to do in the Apple ecosystem. And I don't want to pass the buck, but it's a big challenge and a big undertaking to support Android as a platform with a product that does as much as Switcher Studio does. And if it was one camera and streaming to Facebook, sure, it's not a big deal. But just about anything that you could think of, we feel like it's either in there or it's on the list, and we're never going to be done with this thing. So we are here to be the best iOS mobile video creation platform.
And the nice thing about it is, and I'm not trying to justify anything, but you pick a platform that is a lot easier to develop. You can take the product so much farther rather than trying to spread it out across Android and everything else. I mean, even as we've talked about, the Mac support is somewhat limited because that's not your focus. You know, why would you write it up if you got something that works perfectly well? And if I want to export the video and use it on my Mac, as you said, you know, it's very easy to do. So I applaud you. It's kind of like the early days of the PC, when, you know, one manufacturer is using one CD drive, somebody else is using another hard drive, and then you've got to figure out drivers. And back in those days, I mean, that was just a mess. That was where the Mac was so great. And now we have the same thing replaying itself in iOS.
Well, and I think the other piece that's really important for us is with Switcher, it is a service. You do subscribe to the platform. And one of the things that's included with that is support. And because we know what devices people are using, and because we know the operating system that they're using, and because we know what the software is capable of, we're able to provide a lot better experience and support to our customers because of that. And that's something we've really pride ourselves on at Switcher. With your account, you get email support. Annual customers get priority support. We have a tremendous user group, a huge library of videos and tutorials and walkthroughs. A help center. Any question we've ever been asked is documented and written up. So if you get stuck or you have questions, we're here to help you. If you lob something out in the user group, there's a tremendous community of other creators that are using Switcher that have been there and have done it, and they're all helping one another out. So it's been really cool.
And I can attest to both the community and the support responsiveness, because I had a question as I was preparing to do this event, and it was one of those stupid things that I was doing wrong. But I put it out there, and I got immediate responses from so many people, as well as support at Switcher Studio. And that is like super valuable. So, you know, don't overlook that.
Yeah, that's a big part of who we are, and we don't want to let go of that or lose sight as we continue to grow. So good to hear it from you, and glad we could help.
Yeah, sorry I had the problem, but, you know, I add a little bit of information to the knowledge base. That's the way it happens. Nick, Is this upgrade specifically, is this a paid upgrade or is this an automatic upgrade? How does it work?
It's included as part of your Switcher Studio account. So if you're already using Switcher, if you log into your online dashboard, you're going to see a lot of the changes there, the new look, the new My Videos tab. If you have the app and auto updates are installed, you're good to go. If not, go to the App Store and make sure you have the latest version of Switcher, and you're good to go. Customers that have been with us for since the beginning, or even just the past few months, we've rolled it in, and they're going to be able to keep taking advantage of everything that's there. Anyone that's new to Switcher, the pricing is a little different than it was in the past, but we're adding a lot of value here, and we continue to improve the product. And if you pay for Switcher, you're going to continue to get the best and everything that we have to offer with the product. So a little wrinkle with this update, we have started giving a little bit of incentive to our annual customers, and there's some new features we've added through the dashboard that are not app specific, that you'll be able to take advantage of. So we have a new members discount. So if you're an annual Switcher customer and you're using things like DJI or iOgrapher or KineMaster or LiveView or Switchboard, we've been able to work with our partners and be able to pass on a little bit of savings to you all. We're not looking to make a buck off of that. There's no affiliate kickback. It's just we were able to talk to other companies with complementary products and able to get a little bit of savings that we're able to pass on to you all. And then with that, we're also working on a certificate program that'll be available to annual customers, a referral program. The My Videos tab, you'll have a full history of all of your videos now moving forward. Annual customers will be able to see everything that's there. Monthly customers, I think it shows the 3 or 4 most recent, which is fine for most productions. But if you're making a lot of video and you have high volume, it might be worth being able to go back a little bit further and look at some of the things that you did a few months ago.
How about requirements? Right now, we are very, 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 very early into iOS 11. Any issues or challenges that this has presented for Switcher Studio or opportunities?
Yeah, so we recommend iOS 10 or newer capable devices. If you go to the website, there's a list of those out there. Switcher does work on older devices, but with Apple's sunset policy, it may or may not be available in the App Store. So if you've used the app previously on an older device, it's already there. Chances are it's going to work. If you have an iPhone 4 in a drawer and you go to download Switcher, it may or may not show up in the App Store. And there's just nothing we can do about that. It's Apple kind of manages that part of it. Right. But if you have an iOS 10 or newer device, I think that's the iPhone 5S and up, you're in good shape. We'll have to fact check me on that. It is on the website, so you can get that there. And then iOS 11, we've done some testing, and everything's still ticking. And there's some good things that are available through the new developer tools that we're looking at, and should be able to bring some more value to people. Just got off a product call with our guy in Switzerland, and got some good stuff we'll have before the end of the year for you all. So stay tuned.
And why am I not surprised? You mentioned that the pricing thing is a little bit different. Walk us through the pricing for Switcher Studio and how it all works.
Yeah, so if you want to get started, you go to our website, switcherstudio.com. You can create an account, no credit card required, and you get full access for the first 14 days. And that's to everything, to support, to the app, to the desktop tools, to the dashboard. It's all there. It's all unlocked, ready to go. If you decide to stick with it, it's $29 a month. If you go annual, it's $299 a year. So there's a little bit of a savings on the annual plan, and there's a few features that are a little more fleshed out on the dashboard and the cloud services piece, the member discounts that we talked about, that the annual customers will be able to take advantage of.
Right. But to be clear, even if you're not an annual customer, the app itself is the app. It does what it does. No differences.
Yeah, and you'll get the app and access to everything else for that period while you're signed up. You can turn it on and off, and if you have something that only happens a few times a year, we have a lot of customers that come in and out. That's not great for us, but we know it's great for the people that need it. So we're not going to be taking that away. And yeah, if you're there, it's all there. You're good to go.
I applaud you for making that choice, because this is one of those things that you might need once or twice a year, at least until you get a comfort level with it. And then maybe you suddenly, after you find out how easy it is to do, you think, wow, I could do a whole lot of different things here, and this may be very interesting to do this. So yeah, I really applaud that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think with live video, especially historically, it's been so event driven. It's like there's this thing Thursday at 7 o'clock, and you get in, you get out, and that's it. You move on, you're done. But with the moves that Facebook has made in live video and YouTube being so easy and Periscope and live video is essentially free to be able to get it out there and get it to your audience now. Whereas a few years ago, you'd be spending a couple $100s a month just for the delivery piece. And so there's an opportunity to build your personal brand or your business or market and start thinking about live video as a part of your content marketing strategy and doing things that are consistent and educational and bring value to your customers, where it's not just this thing that happens once a week or once every few months. But there could be a big value in being there every week or every day, depending on what you're doing. And with Switcher, if you go to our Facebook page, Switcher Studio on Facebook, we do a weekly broadcast on Wednesdays, and we talk about industry news and strategy and things that we're seeing in the user group and things that are new with the product. So actually, I'll be jumping on over there when we wrap this in a little bit. But that's something that it's not all about Switcher. There's a lot happening in the space that affects a lot of people. And even if you have the tool, even if you have Switcher and the technology to do it, the idea of hitting the button in the first place could be super scary. And figuring out how to do that from one week to the next and how to use comments and how to leverage your viewers and sell products. And there's just so many things on the strategy side that have nothing to do with the tool that you're using, whether it's Wirecast or a Switcher or a $10,000 box. You've got to make a decision to go live. You've got to make a decision to create content, and if you give it some effort and you think about what you're doing, it's going to be a lot more value for everyone involved. So we're trying to provide some value there as well.
You left out one key thing.
Uh-oh.
It's fun.
It is.
It is fun. You're right. I mean, because as somebody that is kind of steeped in post-production where I've got control of exactly what's going to happen, I'm struggling a bit to get comfortable with the idea of going live and trying to make sure that you're not just going live for the sake of going live, that you really are delivering some decent content. But at the end of the day, it's massively fun to sit there and hit the button and switch back and forth and learn all this stuff that you not usually, but you used to see only on TV, and now you can do it. I mean, what kind of response do you get from educational institutions and schools? I mean, I know that there are places that high schools and even junior high and grade schools that produce their own videos. I would think that the capability of being able to do this live for parents or for whatever, or just use it as the capture device would be amazing.
I had a phone call a couple of days ago. There's a school system in Maryland that they use it in all of their schools in the district for their morning announcements. It's like 40 plus schools that every morning are going live and talking about what's happening at their school. And these kids are getting on camera and they're hitting the buttons, and it's really cool. And we've seen it used for athletics and concerts and plays and in the classroom, and it's just We've seen a lot of things outside of education that just we never even would have thought of. People using it in real estate and puppet shows, and it's all across the board.
Puppet shows, okay, didn't see that one coming.
And then at the higher level, we're seeing big brands like Golf Channel and Honda and McDonald's using Switcher. Actually, our stream that we're going to be doing later today, McDonald's in the Middle East did a new product launch for a new menu item, and it's an awesome video, and they're using Switcher to do it. And they're printing off. So one of their challenges was that as they're doing the stream, they're like, don't comment on the video, but people do it anyways. So they had a printer and they were just printing these off and like calling people out with megaphones, and like it was funny. They had a guy in like a painter's suit that was updating the view count on like a physical leaderboard, and it's just. McDonald's is using Switcher, and you can be doing it too for $29 a month. So it's pretty cool.
And those are the kind of things, you're right, that you would never think of. It stretches your creativity, gives you that capability. So yeah, I absolutely am a very happy customer. Very happy with the capabilities, and just please keep doing it because I want to see what you come up with next.
For sure. So, well, I'll be giving you an update probably at the end of October, early November. I think that's our next push here, and you're going to like it.
Great. Well, you know you're invited back. Just let me know when.
All right.
Where do we send folks to? I mean, obviously to the App Store to go and get Switcher Studio, but to learn about all of this, I know you've mentioned the Facebook page a couple times. What's the website where you can go and see the tutorial videos and learn everything that you need to know?
Yeah, so switcherstudio.com is where you can learn all about it. We also rolled out a new video recently that's kind of that top level view of what's possible with Switcher, and we tried not to get too technical with it. We're really happy with it, and we're trying to show off the team. We're real people. We're here to help. And when we talk about support, you're probably going to be talking to the people that you're seeing on camera. And yeah, go to the website, switcherstudio.com. Check out that video. There's the knowledge base. It's easy to create an account. Again, no credit card required. First 14 days, full access to everything. And if you get stuck, we're here to help. Also, be sure to check out the user group. The Switcher community is growing, and it's great. And once you create that account, it'll kind of walk you through that step. There's a giant box there for joining the community, where you can answer a few questions and get in on that group. And you can share what you're doing. You can ask questions, and everyone's really supportive and there to help.
Excellent. Nick, thanks for the time. I know you got to run, but we'll talk to you again, I guess, in a month and a half, 2 months, and see what else is new with Switcher Studio.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Thanks so much. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. We'll be back with Nick again in a couple months. But in the meantime, please go check out Switcher Studio and just find out. 14 days you can play with if you have an iPhone and an iPad. That's more than enough to get started and see. Or for that matter, just if you want to broadcast live, just hit one button with one device and go live on Facebook or YouTube. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes, links to subscribe, and to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, SoundCloud, the MacVoices blog, the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter, and on MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard that helps you do more with your Apple tech. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com, bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.